We're leaving the Discovery Park at Tuncurry today, heading further north. Liz has penciled in a spot known as Point Paloma, which is situated in the Limeburner National Park. But before we get there, we need a quick stop in at Port Macquarie to stock up on a few items in the grocery and beverage line, if you know what I mean. The New South Wales mid-north coast is a virtual treasure trove of hidden gems dotted along what is one of the state's most densely populated stretches of coast. This is how she explained it to me. It's a place of peaceful sounds, of bird songs, and the waves crashing on the beach. I'm like, yep, let's go. There are two ways that you can take to the point. The main and easiest way is from the north, through the small picturesque coastal town of Crescent Head along the Point Paloma Road. The second and more adventurous way is to catch the vehicle ferry over the Hastings River from Settlement Point and then head north from North Shore. So of course we queued for the ferry. Good morning. $12 with the trailer, thank you.
So you're going down to 20?
Yeah. The notes say that this route requires a high clearance four-wheel drive and off-road caravan, as the track is quite rutted and has deep sandy washouts in several locations. Once we hit the start of the four-wheel drive track, it took us about 45 minutes of slow going with just a couple of patches of soft sand. Yeah mate, yeah, we're just giving you space, that's all. No dogs.
Yeah.
It's at this point that Liz sees the number of caravans and tents that are set up. Crikey, would there be room?
Oh shit.
There you go, still on.
A little bit again. Oh yeah.
Whilst the campground is manned by park personnel, he wasn't able to accept our booking and it had to be made online. We waited around for a while and there were people that were actually heading out, so we grabbed one of those spots and managed to get enough phone reception to make the booking. As we were going to be parked here for a few days, some morning duties had to be performed. Setting up and connecting the solar blankets was high on the agenda.
And here we are catching some rays for the van, which is a wonderful thing. Let's get it back up to 100% today, I reckon.
Hope you can hear me above the roar of the ocean, but what a great way to start the day. A little walk along the beach just after sunrise. Pied oyster catchers, I think they are, seagulls. Noticed a few little, what do you call them, blue-ringed octopus just floating around, not a lot, about 4 or 5 in sort of a couple hundred, 400 metres, and then nothing. So yeah, that's obviously the water's warm and it's starting to wash up on the beaches in this wind swell. So the wind swung around to the northeast yesterday and sort of blew its tail end off. We managed to park the van in a nice little angle, just give us a bit of shelter, and had an awesome night. Bloody beautiful. So yep, today we're just going to horn around the place, have a bit of a look around, check out, there's a couple of other campsites at the spot where we are, and we'll venture on from there. Heading back down the coast, there are tracks that lead to the beach, and it appears a very popular surf spot. We tried our hand at some long exposure photography in this quaint little bay. I think we've got a bit to learn, but happy with the first results.
John, that was a good call of yours yesterday. This is the river at Melaleuca Campground. Doesn't look like it's flowing at all. So
Full of stagnant water.
Yep. We camped at Paloma Campground last night, so yeah, good call. Yes? Yes.
On the way back, we stopped to check out some of the access points to the beach.
Ghost crab hole, possibly. They're busy little buggers.
Well, things started to look a bit ugly as the afternoon wore on, but fortunately the storm missed us, but made for a spectacular sunset. We enjoyed our time here despite a couple of windy days. There are some amenities including flushing toilets and cold showers, but no potable water, so you need to ensure you have sufficient for your stay. Point Paloma is the perfect spot to use as a base camp to explore the surrounding areas if you love your water activities and being right on the coast. We had a reasonable travel day today from Paloma Point to Aurukun National Park with a couple of stops along the way. This drive was sensational as it follows the river. It was probably the time of year, but everything was nice and green, the paddocks lush with growth, and yes, we really did enjoy it. Washing off all the black sand from this morning. When we packed up, there was a little bit of rain. Just happened about halfway through packing up. Not a lot, just enough to be a bit of a nuisance. So Elizabeth is cleaning all that black sticky sand off her feet in this lovely pristine place. Hat Head we're at. We're at Hat Head National Park. It's a big caravan park, and obviously this is the bar entrance. So safe for swimming. What an awesome spot. Another one of those little hidden gems that I guess lots of New South Wales people know about, but others don't.
Hat Head National Park, what a spot. Pretty magical.
Blizzard booked a site at the Trial Bay Campground, and we were keen to get there. So from Hat Head we head back out to the main road and continue to follow the river and the signs to Aurukun.
Arrived at Aurukun National Park campground, set up camp, beautiful, and then we watched some weather come by and we thought, geez, this is not going to be good. It got darker and it got windier. Checked the bomb and it looked like there could be some hail, which is always a concern, but it seems to have luckily gone round us. But I did take some photos. You can see the big front that came through, but no hail, and at this stage no rain. It looks like it's all dissipating and going around us, so thank you very much. Wasn't looking forward to getting hail at all, but hey, that's life. Anyway, catch you later. Bye.
Well, there's worse places a bloke could be washing up. Have a look at this. Liz has been off having a crack at a couple more long exposures. Have a look at these. And who doesn't love a sunset? Welcome to the Trial Bay Jail. Since the early 1800s, this place has been used for 4 significant things over that course of time between the 1800s and where we are today. Originally built in the late 19th century as a public works prison, it was built specifically to house end-of-term prisoners. So these would be the solitary confinement quarters for the really, really naughty people. These prisoners, most selected for their skills, were to build a breakwater that would provide safe anchorage for passing ships. In the 1890s, a severe storm caused major damage to the breakwater, so the project was abandoned and the prison closed. In its second period, in around 1914, it was used in World War I as an internment camp and detention barracks. This was subsequently closed towards the end of the war, and in 1918 it was totally closed, stripped and abandoned. In its third period, in 1965, the Trial Bay Trust was established. The jail became a place of recreation, and in 1995 the reserve became part of the New South Wales National Parks estate. Locally known as the Old Jail Ruins, thousands of visitors pass through each year. There are loads of interesting stories, both within the walls and the grounds of this unique piece of history, which you need to come and experience for yourself. We wanted to do this walk that takes you up to a monument, then follow the escarpment around to Little Bay. You can then return via the Powder Magazines or continue on to the lighthouse. We decided to see how we felt when we got to the turning point. The original monument was built by internees in memory of 5 Germans that were held at the Trial Bay internment camp during World War I. In brief, there were suspicions that signals were being relayed to a German ship. Fearing a rescue mission, military authorities moved internees to another location southwest of Sydney and the camp was closed. A year later, with thousands of Australian troops returning home wounded from the war, sometime during the evening of July 3, 1919, the monument was blown up by persons unknown. In 1960, the local Rotary Club restored the monument with funding from the German consul, and the monument is now recognised as a German war grave. The track is well marked with interpretation boards along the way. The views from up here are absolutely stunning. Yeah, they stole some out of it. That's what they blew the bloody monument up with. So it was blown up 2 nights before that. Yes, this is one of the Powder Magazines. The other mysteriously blew up the night before the monument was destroyed on the 3rd of July 1919. Wonder where the explosive came from to blow up the monument. Wow, what a day, and it's not finished yet. Next we're off to the Smoky Cape Lighthouse. Situated on the northern end of the Hat Head National Park, this beacon casts its light out to sea for many a mariner to know where they are. So the lighthouse actually sits on the edge of the Hat Head National Park. Smoky Cape was named by Captain Cook on the 13th of May 1770 as he sailed north on the Endeavour. Rising above the headland was smoke from the fires of the local Aboriginal people who had been living in this coastal environment and walking these beaches and headlands for thousands of years. Truly a pretty specky spot. Let's see, this little spot right here, that's where we were the other night. Well, this is the Smoky Cape Lighthouse. I'll have to put the stats in the corner down here as to exactly how tall it is. It's actually not that high in terms of a structure, but it's got huge amounts of elevation up on the edge of the cliff, so it doesn't need to be built extremely high. So yeah, I'll pop the details on the side here of its height and structure and year date. It's been here for a long time. It's obviously changed from candles and to automated at some point. They updated them all. So yeah, pretty specky view from here as well. You can see all the way down the coast. Beautiful. Well, here you go. I actually found the board that gives you the information in regards to the actual lighthouse. So where have we got here? In 1886 they proposed a lighthouse to be put here at Smoky Cape. It was designed and built. They called for tenders on the 2nd of January 1889 and a contract was awarded to Messrs Oakes and Company. Poor Mr Oakes died during the construction, but his work carried on by his executors. The cost of the construction, including the tower, optical apparatus, quarters and ancillary buildings, amounted to £1,600. The light operates from the original lens and lantern. However, in 1962, when the light was converted to electric operation, the clockwork weight-driven machinery was removed altogether with the vaporised kerosene lamp. So now it has a range of 25 nautical miles, and its elevation 128 metres above sea level. But the building itself is not all that tall. There's no actual stats on the height of the building that I can see, so we might see if we can dig something up. But yeah, very interesting, and I'm sure saved many a life over the years. This was the cottages for the lighthouse keeper. They've now actually turned them into a bed and breakfast, so an awesome thing to do with it, which puts it to good use. But his views are just absolutely stunning as we look out around the place, and I must say, complete with kangaroo accompaniment as well. But this is the view that he gets out sitting outside under the rear veranda. Not a bad view, eh? So it looks like there's a couple of cottages. It's the first one, and then there's another one just below it. Nice spot. Then it was back to camp. We were done. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here. Is it a bit of flirting or a standoff as to who's the boss? There was a bit of gesturing going on with head shaking and foot movement. We've seen them fight before, but this was different. If you've seen this behaviour before, or you know what they're doing, let us know in the comments. Thanks. In the next episode, after a couple of stops, we claw our way through Coffs Harbour.
Here we have Scott's Head.
And make our way to Yamba for the weekend. And finish the trip at one of our favourite places, Black Rocks. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and don't let the dust settle. See you next time. Cheers.